Hello, new or expecting parent. I bet you are so excited for the journey into parenthood, but I think you should just pump the brakes a little bit and start doing some research on how to make this transition into parenting smoother and easier. Now, if I do say so myself, as a seasoned mama of 3 kids that I had within 3 years and 3 months, like I went bing, bang, boom, popped them all out, I have some amazing tips for you, so stay tuned for every single one of them because I feel like they are going to change the trajectory of your entry, and by entry I mean like you're diving into parenting. Tip number 1 that I have for you is to divide responsibilities among spouse, caregiver, whoever is going to be the main caregiver with you before you have the baby. Now, I feel like this is gold right here. Even if this was the only thing that I told you in this video, it will make such a huge difference in your roles, responsibilities, and expectations of parenting. So I think it's very important to have conversations with your spouse before the baby is born about who's responsible for what. It's almost like when you get married and you have the conversations of you're mowing the lawn, I'm cooking dinner, or whatever those conversations may be like. And if you're really lucky, you're going to have more of a 50-50 relationship where your spouse is helping you with all the things that have to do with having a baby. So changing diapers, giving bath time, doing feedings, like whatever it may be. So clearly, like if you're, and I'm speaking to the mom here, if you're breastfeeding and that is obviously always going to be your responsibility and only your responsibility, aside from when you try to introduce bottles, maybe you can kind of balance that with asking your spouse to do bath time on bath nights so that you can, kind of take care of yourself during that time. And that's just like a division of responsibilities. Tip number 2 is to outsource as needed. This is something that took me a very long time to be able to be okay with doing. But honestly, like if somebody else is going to come clean my house, then great. If somebody else is going to deliver meals or deliver groceries, great. If I don't have the energy, or sometimes it's not even like I don't have the time to do something, but it's more or less like I don't have the energy. I never really wanted to get my newborn all bundled up. He was born in October when I had my first. I didn't want to get him all bundled up and go out in the snow just to go to Wegmans to get some groceries. So getting them delivered is going to be a huge help. Being able to just sit online and order all the things, put them in your cart, check out, and then they arrive on your front door. Do it. Outsource. Tip number 3 goes somewhat hand in hand with outsourcing, but in a different kind of way, because this tip has to do with your friends and family who are trying to help you. So where tip number 2, you're finding your own help, tip number 3, we're talking about friends and family who are offering you things and you feel like you want to say no because maybe you feel bad, maybe you feel like you should be doing everything. But if your friend comes over and says, hey, let me do your laundry for you, let them do the laundry for you. Or maybe if you've already done the laundry and you say, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful for you wanting to offer to do that for me. I've already done the laundry, but maybe you can help me with the dishes, and then you can hold the baby after to get your fix of baby snuggles. Tip number 4 is to create routines that are eventually going to become your schedule. Now, if you're having a newborn baby under the age of 4 to 6 months old, then you want routines. Routine. You can have a bedtime routine from day 1. And eventually your child is going to associate that routine with bedtime. It's going to trigger the production of melatonin and your child is going to sleep better. Now, another major routine that I learned and used from 1 month forward is the eat, play, sleep routine. And I have a whole video on that if you want to check it out after this. But having these routines built in is going to lead to a schedule. I don't think that you need to be on a schedule from the very beginning. However, when you have these routines, as your baby grows, naps start to become predictable, they start to consolidate and get longer, then you will be able to kind of put a schedule into place and it'll be easy because you've already implemented routine. If you're curious about some of the routines that I teach about and different things that I encourage during this eat, play, sleep time, I want you to get Baby in Bloom, Mama's Guide to the Fourth Trimester. I will link it in the description box down below. This is a humongous course that I have created created for new moms to be able to navigate these first 3 months of parenthood. Not only am I teaching you about the eat, play, sleep routine, I'm teaching you about soothing techniques to use with your baby. I am teaching you what to do during this activity time that's going to help your child's brain development and everything in between. Things about helping your baby sleep better, about mama, about how you can bond with your baby and what to do when you're going back to work, and so much more. Jumping into tip number 5 is self-care every single day. Whether it's an ebook, is that what they're called? Ebook, audiobook is maybe it's an audiobook instead, or music that I get to dance and jam out to. But tip number 6 is to have plans and expect them to change. So you can plan outings with your friends or with your family or just yourself and your kid, and you have to have the flexibility and adaptation to be able to change the plan, because if your baby has a blowout, or maybe they didn't sleep well the night before, or maybe they're teething, or maybe you're just not in the mood to go do something, it's okay to change the plan, and it's okay to say to somebody else, you know what, I'm really not feeling it today, I'm exhausted, or like whatever it is, and it's okay for plans to change. As well as that, I think it's very important to have realistic expectations about the plans that you have for raising your baby. Maybe you were planning on breastfeeding for the entire first year, and maybe it didn't work. Maybe your milk didn't come in. Maybe you have low supply. Maybe your kid won't latch. And I'm like smiling because I went through this, and I actually had mastitis and thrush at the same time when my baby was 1 month old, and the amount of pain that caused me, and after kind of going to the doctor and going through all the things that I had to go through with that, I decided this isn't for me right now, and I was okay with it. I did not feel guilty moving to formula because I had to do it for my child. Some parents also plan ahead, like saying, oh, I'm never gonna give my kid a pacifier, and then like day 5, pop it in their mouth, and they're like, well, so much for that, definitely give it a pacifier. But just be flexible with your plans, whether it's day to day or how you're raising your kids. Just make sure that you are just kind of reflecting on what you've planned, and make sure that it still aligns with yourself and your goals as you raise your child. Tip number 7, and I call this the night shift. And what I mean by this is to have a plan. This goes back to tip number 1, is to have a plan with your spouse about who is on night shift which night. And I don't mean the entire night from bedtime till morning wake time. I mean that there should be one parent responsible for any wake ups, diaper changes, getting the baby back to sleep from bedtime through about 2 a.m. And then that parent goes to sleep from 2 a.m. until 6 or 7 a.m., whatever time they have to wake up in the morning, and the other parent is on night shift. Tip number 8 is to get outside every day. Now, it is so important for both you and your baby to get exposure to vitamin D at least 20 minutes a day. This is going to help with their day and night confusion. It's going to help with the production of melatonin at night. This is going to help with their circadian rhythm, and it's going to help you as well. You need that fresh air, you need the vitamin D, and you need to move your body. When my kids were little, it was really nice to be able to walk to the playground near our house, let the big one play while the little one was in the stroller. And so you could definitely do this as well if you have more than one child, but just make sure that you're getting out every day. Tip number 9 is to find your mom group. And if you don't find them, please keep looking. I tell you this with like the most sincerity in my heart, because I went to one mommy meetup group and I was shamed for getting out that bottle of formula and feeding my kid formula, and I never went back, and I never kept looking. I just decided these moms don't like me, they don't like how I'm parenting my child, and I'm never gonna go back again, and I'm just never gonna have mom friends. And I can't tell you how isolated and alone I felt during so much of my parenting journey in the very early years. And I mean, honestly, like that's a huge reason why I started my business, was because I wanted to be there, to be that village to support families who might not have it. And when I felt like I didn't have it, I just kind of shut everything else out and just thought, well, I'm never going to find that. You can find that. There are many groups, there are many people, and there are just so many different ways that you can meet other moms, whether it's going to the library, going to a play place, finding specific meetup groups, MOPS groups. There's, what is that one called? Like stroller strides, maybe? Just Google like mommy meetup near me, and please, please, please like go out, meet new moms, and find your people, because you need a village. Tip number 10 is to stop comparing. Now, I know it's hard. It is so hard to compare yourself to other kids and other babies that might be the same age as your kid. Maybe you're comparing because you're Googling something. Maybe you're comparing because you're at a mommy meetup with a bunch of different moms who have kids the same age as yours. But we have to stop comparing. Every child and every parent is on their own journey, and you are not supposed to go through every single thing exactly the same way. And don't compare your child to their siblings, because guess what? It is so funny when parents think that their kids are going to be exactly the same, because they're not. So let's just end the video on this note where if you are entering your journey into parenthood, I want you to grab Baby in Bloom, Mama's Guide to the Fourth Trimester in the description box down below. I will also pin it in the comment section. I hope you loved this video. Check out the Eat, Play, Sleep video after this one so you can get your family into great routines that will turn into awesome, predictable schedules and keep blooming. Mwah.